Hello, welcome back. It is Sunday the 31st of December 2023. It's obviously the last day of the year, and so like everybody else this morning I sat down, I was journaling and reflecting on the year, and I thought instead of finishing filming the daily vlog that I meant to be posting, we could have a more casual sit down chit chat about the year. It's been by far the worst year of my life, so that's good, but a lot of stuff happened. I turned 18, I did my A-levels, I moved out, went to uni, I started YouTube. It's really good timing because I started YouTube on the 12th of January, and so kind of like my 1 year anniversary as well. And so while I'm reluctant to run this as an advice video, I thought if either you're me but a year smaller, then you'll kind of get an insight on what's to come. And also if you want to start YouTube, I can tell you about that too. So that's what we're going to do. This is a story in 3 parts. Part 1, starting a YouTube channel. Part 2, doing my A-levels. Part 3, going to uni. We're going to cover it all. Okay, so this channel was birthed at the beginning of this year, and since then I posted 72 long form videos and 4 shorts, which is pretty productive, I'd say. I actually used to have a YouTube channel from when I was about 7 till 12, and I used to post pretty similar videos to this, with vlogs and book reviews.
I'm Isabel, and this is all about us. I'm sorry the lens is a bit boring.
Stuff like that, but obviously when you're 13, that stuff's embarrassing, so I deleted it. And then that embarrassment is what kept me from starting again, even though I wanted to, because I knew that when I started making videos, they weren't going to be good because I was a beginner, and I was worried that people from sixth form were going to find the videos and I didn't think they were going to laugh at me or make fun of me or anything, but I knew they'd be judging, and that scared me. And also I felt weird about the people that I knew having an insight into my personal life, so I refrained from doing it. And then womp womp, this year on the 10th of January I was rejected from Oxford, and I just went crazy. Like, I lay in this bed for 48 hours and cried, and I wouldn't get up, and I wouldn't go to sixth form for ages. And my thought process was, if people from sixth form find it, I'm just going to stop going, which is stupid because had that happened I obviously would have kept going to school. But at that point I was delusional, and so I thought, you know what, I don't care, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And I'm glad I did, because we're here now and still nobody from sixth form has found it as far as I'm aware. And the purpose of YouTube for me was literally to just have a video diary. I wanted, when I'm older, to be able to look back and see all these little vlogs of different moments of my life, including then the literal depths of hell. And so all the original vlogs, they're just these random titles, and the cover image is just a tree or my garden or something, because I didn't want people to find the videos. The only reason my account was public was because I knew I would forget the password to the channel, and so I wanted to make sure that when that happened I could still access the videos from a different account. And so I was just filming myself doing random stuff, occasionally talking to the camera, and no one really found the channel. I posted about 30 videos and I got 20 subscribers. It's not that many at all. And then I posted this video, I think it's called Every Day is the Same, and that one gained a bit of traction. It got around 7,000 views, I gained around 400 subscribers, which is quite a lot proportional to my channel size at the time, and I started to worry that someone I knew had found the channel, which was not very nice. But no one had, and I think that sort of brought me to my first lesson, which is that video success on YouTube to me seems to be random, because even now there are vlogs that I am quite proud of and I watch back and I'm like, yeah, I did a good job on that one. And there are some that I am quite surprised I let myself post. And Every Day is the Same is an example of a video that I'm not at all proud of, but it's by far my most viewed vlog, which I think is the most frustrating thing about YouTube, is I think there is a lot of luck involved, and the vlogs that I put a lot of time and effort into ultimately tend not to do that well. Okay, so I post this random vlog and it gains a little bit of traction. We're on like 450 subs, but in my mind I know more than 450 people, and so they were just kind of like friends, and so it dies down pretty quickly and I'm just posting vlogs. And then because I'm revising all the time, people start to ask me for an A-level video, so I make one after results day. I can't remember if I published it in August or September, but that one did pick up, and within the first month I had like 20,000 views and I gained like over 1,000 subs, and that for me was a big deal. Firstly because 1,000 is quite a lot of people, and secondly because people from my old school and my old village started to message me on Instagram saying that they'd found it, and that really started to panic me, because the whole point was that I didn't want my close friends to find the channel. And so I was like messaging these people from my old sixth form, like in the year below or 2 years below, like, oh please don't tell anyone because I'm scared. So over the past 3 months or so I've sort of done a blend of the daily diaries, which is what I'm interested in, and then also the A-level study stuff, not because I want to be a productivity YouTuber, even though those videos typically do better. I'm actually quite against doing A-level content because I don't want to be 23 making videos about A-levels. I'd much rather just dump my personal life on here and leave it. But I sort of feel like if someone watches my daily diaries and then they request a maths video, I feel obliged to give it to them because I'm grateful that people watch. So that's what we've been doing. Right now we're at 1.94k subs. So that's pretty good. Given I haven't been trying for that long, I'm pretty pleased. Okay, we've got the journal out. We're going to run through some of the biggest learning points for my first year on YouTube. The first thing is that YouTube takes so much time. It's way more time consuming than I thought, especially editing. To edit a silly little 10-minute vlog, bear in mind it's not even anything technical. I'm just cutting clips and then syncing them to music. Average vlog, I would say about 8 hours. And so I really understand why people quit YouTube, because before that first video took off, I'd done around 30 videos. That's hundreds of hours of my life and only 10 people were watching. I think that's ridiculous. Like, it's such a big investment of your time and effort to begin with. The second thing is that I said at the beginning that I was worried about people I knew finding my channel. I don't think that is a threat. Like I said, only a couple of people have found my channel, and they're people that I kind of knew that were younger than me who would have been looking at A-level content. No one my age has messaged me to say that they have found the channel. And my channel isn't that well hidden. It's my name, Yenran, and it's linked to my normal Instagram. And so if you Google either Yenran or my Instagram name, this will come up. And yet no one's found it. And so I think if you are sort of worried about that embarrassment, you can just pick a random channel name. No one is ever going to find it unless one of your videos blows up or you get unlucky. I think vlogging and doing this has been good for me emotionally, especially when I'm having a bad day, and that happens to be a day when I'm filming a daily diary. And I imagine it's because periodically throughout the day I'm setting up the camera and talking about what's happened. And so if something bad has happened, I sort of talk about it within the next hour or so, rather than letting a lot of bad things through a bad day build up and then at the end of the day calling my boyfriend crying. And so I think it's actually a good replacement for journaling. You don't have to make a vlog, but I just say that at the end of the day you could set up your camera and talk for 5 minutes or so. I actually think it's a really productive way to just be angry. I guess that's maybe why sometimes the vlogs are a bit depressing, because that is just genuinely me blowing off some steam. Okay, the final thing is actually quite sweet. When I started the channel, I was preparing for the worst, and the internet is famously full of hate, and so I was ready to receive some of that hate. I thought people would comment stuff like, "Shut up, you ugly rat, stop whining, no one cares," but touch wood, no one has said anything explicitly mean to me yet, which is weird because I don't know if I'm just lucky, but I was pretty sure they would be mean. And on the flip side, people are surprisingly nice. There have been people who've been commenting since March or April who still comment now, and sometimes when I post a vlog and I've had a bad day or I express that I'm sad, people will message me on Instagram and they'll say nice things. And just in general, I was surprised by how loving everyone is. Okay, it's everyone's favourite discussion topic. Let's talk about A-levels. I tempted to say my A-levels started on the 25th of May and they finished on the 26th of June. It was something like that. It was about a month period. I took maths, further maths, physics, computer science and EPQ. I've said those words about 10 million times since filming the A-level series, and I'll be honest, that whole 6-7 month period of my life, blank. I don't know if it's because I was studying so much that I went crazy, if it's because I was really sad, if it was because I was just doing the same thing every day, so everything's merged. But essentially I would wake up, study, go to sixth form, study. I was doing like 14 hours a day. The only other thing I really did was organ. So it wasn't a very exciting life. And it's funny because when people ask me how much they should be studying, I tend to say 8 hours, but I know if you told me I was taking my A-levels again, I would do exactly the same. I'd still study 14 hours a day. It's because I'm obsessive. I was obsessed with the idea of getting 5 A stars, and so I had to do it. And I haven't decided yet whether I regret spending so much time, because obviously I had to give up other things. I wasn't going out as much. I stopped taekwondo. I stopped a lot of my piano and organ. I stopped learning Chinese. All of these things I gave up for my A-levels, and I do still think I could have got 5 A stars without it. But on results day, I think it was the 22nd of August, I opened the envelope, and for about 2 minutes, that is the first time I've ever felt proud of myself, which is ridiculous. Firstly, I got 11 9s at GCSE. I got the full, what do you call it in poker when you get every flush? I got the full set, and I honestly was like, eh. And then I really wanted to go to Oxford, and then I was rejected, womp womp, and then I sort of gave my everything to this A-level dream, and I accomplished it. And for a very short period I was like, and I think had I not worked for 14 hours a day, I wouldn't have felt that same sense of pride. But then also I did give up hours and hours of my life for 2 minutes of happiness. So is that worth it? I'm not sure. Regardless of that though, firstly, do I think it's possible to get 4A stars from 8 hours of work every day? Yes, easy peasy. Secondly, do I recommend that you do any more revision than that per day and waste your life like me? No. I think the only reason you need to do that is if you're absolutely desperate to get 4A stars, and I did, okay? And the only thing it's really been good for is YouTube videos, okay? Maybe people are slightly more likely to click on my videos because I got 4A stars rather than 3. Other than that, no one cares. When people tell you that A-levels don't matter, they mean it. I have not heard the word A-level other than on my channel since Freshers Week months ago. And so if you're experiencing a lot of stress, I'd say that the reason why you're feeling that is because your sixth form or your college have put that pressure onto you because they want you to do well, okay? Not because it matters that much. This is coming from someone whose whole life revolved around A-levels for the first half of this year. It really doesn't matter. Like, no one cares except you and maybe your parents. Okay, so first 6 months of the year, blank period in my mind. We'll call that period hell on earth, okay? And I think the thing is that there's not really that much to be said, because if you're me but a year younger, so your A-levels are in a couple of months, or you're younger than that and you're worried about your exams, you can't do anything. You can't make time go faster. You can't worry about them so much that the exams are easier or they come later so you have more time to revise. The only thing you can do is keep waking up and working, and you cross your fingers that the exams are nice and that your brain remembers all of the content. Other than that, there's nothing you can do other than keep going. So just keep going, and then eventually you'll reach A-level summer, okay? Now, people say A-level summer is the best summer of your life. I mean, was it the best summer of my life? I'm not sure. And I think the reason is because A-level results day is so late, and so you get 2 months to worry, and I get really bad anxiety, and I think my summer was tainted by that. And so maybe if you're that kind of person, work on some breath work right now, because I did some incredible things. I went to Marbella, I went all around Italy with my family, and the whole time I was quite like angry and mardy because the anxiety about results day was sort of so built up in me that I couldn't enjoy this best summer of my life. I do definitely understand why people gas it up though, and I think the best thing about post A-level summer is that it's prime group holiday time. So no offense to my family, but before that, the longest I've ever been away from home was 2 nights when I was 13, and then I'm going to Marbella for 2 weeks with 8 other 18-year-olds, and I was really excited, and I made so many cool memories on that trip. I had the funniest day of my life, which was every day we used to go to the beach for 6 hours and tan. We were normally hungover, and we'd maybe swim a bit, and this one day the waves were crazy, and we were lying on the water like this, and then when a big wave comes, you like seesaw, and your head goes in the water, and my friend was trying to get out of the water, and a big wave came up and knocked her out, and she swept out a mum and her son and another one of my friends, and it was so funny. I've never laughed that hard in my life. Even now thinking about it, like, it makes me chuckle. And I think that summer in between is really bittersweet because you know it's the last opportunity you're going to get with your childhood friends, and it's really sad, but also you kind of make some of the best memories. And so actually, now I'm thinking about it, maybe that was the best summer of my life. Also, I went to Italy, and Italy is my favourite place, so I've changed my mind. Post A-level summer is the best summer of your life, confirmed. And then on the 25th of September, I moved into university. I moved into the University of Warwick to study maths, and if you watch the summer vlogs, you'll know that I did not want to go to university, and also until early September, I had not been planning to go to university. And so that day was a big shock to the system. I was feeling a lot of big emotions, and so before we begin the uni chapter, let's note that this is a very biased review of the first term of university. I obviously also think it's worth noting that this opinion is very biased because the whole time I was at Warwick, except the last 3 days, I was also in the middle of applying to Cambridge. So I had my admissions assessment on the 18th of October, which was week 3, I think. And then I had my interview, both of them, on the final week, week 10, on the 5th of December. And so the whole time I was at Warwick, I didn't really have any free time because I was spending every single minute I could get on applying to Cambridge as well. And so I guess that sort of affects how I experienced university because I didn't really have any spare time. Overall, so far, I've spent 11 weeks at Warwick, Freshers Week, and then 10 academic weeks. So I'm moving on the 25th. The 26th is the beginning of Freshers Week. Not really that much to say, to be honest. It's exactly what you expect and what other people say it is. You just go clubbing every night. It's awkward at first because you're going clubbing with your flatmates and you don't really know your flatmates, and then during the day you go to these social events, which are also awkward because no one knows each other and everybody's hungover from going out. But overall, I quite enjoyed Freshers Week. I think I got really lucky that my flatmates are really nice. I know some people had some much worse experiences because they didn't get on with their flatmates off the bat, and so I do think that makes a really big difference. But also, you can't really worry about that before you go because your flatmates just are who your flatmates are. So I think you need to go into it imagining that you do get lucky like me and live with people that actually are nice, interesting people. I think the hardest part of Freshers Week for me was definitely going to societies because I sort of sought comfort in the fact that at lectures or when you're meeting your flatmates or when you go clubbing, everyone there is a first year. And so you all are experiencing that same underlying feeling of discomfort. But especially Taekwondo, I had this problem with because I was going by myself. You know, I have flatmates come with me to maths and physics things, but Taekwondo, it was just me. And I really wanted to do it, and I've done Taekwondo my whole life, so I'm pretty good, but I went and I felt like I was just inserting myself into situations or conversations where I didn't belong. And I honestly felt like I was a child talking to a group of adults, and the imposter syndrome was so bad. I hated going for the first 6 weeks or so, which is ridiculous because the people at Taekwondo are genuinely the nicest group of people I've ever met. But at the end of the day, the motto for Freshers Week and starting uni is just get prepped to feel uncomfortable. It was horrible, but then again, you sort of have to accept the fact that the only way that you're going to overcome that is to just keep putting yourself into those uncomfortable situations until you get to know the people enough that you start to feel comfortable. There's no other real way around it unless you just don't ever want to go to anything. On the bright side, it is obviously much easier to make friends at university because you meet more people. And I think the biggest blessing socially is that you meet so many more people. And so I've met such a wide variety of people, and I very easily have found people that are more talented than me in every aspect of my life. You know, some incredibly talented mathematicians on my course, people who are better at Taekwondo, piano, YouTube, and I think it's such a blessing that I can talk to these people, and I always feel inspired to do better because I think I was sort of lacking that motivation after A-levels. But now when I talk to these people that I see are so much more successful than me, I want to do better at maths, I want to be better at Taekwondo, I want to challenge myself with the piano, and I think that's such a blessing, and it's also one that I really needed at this time in my life. Sorry the lighting keeps changing, I've had to turn all of the lights on because it's literally dark outside. That's how long I've been yapping at this camera for, it's ridiculous. I have some final thoughts on uni from the journal. Here it is, and then we'll be all done. The first thing is that I personally have not had any problem with living alone physically, as in going to get shopping, cooking, dishes, laundry, cleaning the room, blah blah. I don't know if I've just been trained well, but if anything, I find those tasks more enjoyable now than I did while I was doing my A-levels because I would rather do the dishes than study analysis for the 8th hour of that day, personally. And also, I think you can just do all of the things on the Sunday. That's what everybody tends to do. I really don't think it's as hard as people make it out to be, unless again, I've just got lucky. The second thing is the negative version of the previous comment, and is that it's much harder to stay emotionally stable at university, and it's because there's no one there to ground you. As in, if I decide that I want to stay in my room all day, that's that. I will not see anybody, and for that reason my anxiety has gotten a lot worse, and currently no progress has been made on that. That one's just an observation. Okay, the last thing I've written is kind of sad actually, but I'm going to put a positive spin on it so we can end the video on a high. I've written here, and the thing that I've been struggling with all year is the whole identity thing. Up until the 10th of January this year, my whole thing is that I was clever, and then I was rejected from Oxford and I decided I wasn't clever, and then I spent 6 months ruining my own life. And then I went to university, and a lot of people use that as an opportunity to rebrand themselves, but instead of that, I decided I was going to reapply to Cambridge, which I do not at all regret, by the way, and I really want it, and if you could cross your fingers for me, I would really appreciate that. But I realised very quickly when I got to university that I have no personality. There is nothing that makes me me. I'm not particularly smart, I'm not good looking, I'm not funny, I'm not nice, I'm not anything. I'm just a girl, okay? And so the New Year's resolution, even though I don't really believe in them, for 2024 is to be something. I think I'm going to choose kind, because that's a nice one, but I'll let you know. We're going to go on this whole self-discovery thing. It's going to be so good. It's going to be on YouTube. You know, if you've got a new planner for 2024, go to the 31st of December and write Yamran upload, and we're going to check in this time next year, and I'm going to be something. It's going to be great. Other than that, I would really like 10,000 subscribers if you want to subscribe. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. If anything, I'm really grateful that I started YouTube just because I've had a place to like talk. So thank you if you've been listening. Other than that, I'll see you guys in 2024.